Uh, what's going on, YouTube? How y'all doing? Y'all got to forgive me. I had to take a nap because I've had a very busy day, and it took me a little bit longer to get my shit together than I thought it was gonna take. Um, man, it's already a couple of y'all waiting. Man, I appreciate y'all for joining me. I don't go live as much as I'm supposed to or as much as I should, but I appreciate y'all for waiting on me. Somebody said I left DJ Nice IG Live to come get some knowledge. Look at you. Man, you did that thing for growth. I appreciate you. Um, Hello from Hong Kong. How you doing, Hong Kong? What's going on? What's up with What's up from Cali? Let me see. Look, somebody getting right into it. I appreciate y'all. Look, before I get into it, for those who are just watching the replay or those who are very interested, I don't have or I haven't had a video this week here or on my ybslove.com page because I had a really important project to do this week for the Women Emerging Summit. I don't want to misspeak. I want to make sure I get the name of this right. I've been a part of this summit that's about to happen on April 17th through April 21st. For about a week and a half now, and I had to do a special project for them, and it was something I was really proud of. So I wanted to make sure that I gave them all the time and attention they needed, and they got everything they needed from me. But and I'm reading off my phone. Um, I just wrapped up all of my obligations for the Women Emerging Reclaiming Our Souls from Sexual Abuse Summit. Okay, it's an online summit, obviously, because nobody can go out their house. But it's a sexual assault awareness summit, and it's a big online gathering of thought leaders, doctors, trauma therapists of all kinds to bring together all the resources for the survivors of sexual trauma. So if you've been through sexually traumatic experiences, if you've been sexually abused, if you're a survivor of rape or any type of sexual trauma at all, or if you're interested in figuring out how to help those people, or just expanding your knowledge about the resources available to them. This summit is a huge deal for that because it's going to pull in all of the thought leaders and again all of the professional resources into one place, so that if you do have a history of sexual trauma or PTSD resulting from it, or any family members or any concern within this realm at all, this will be a summit that you want to be a part of. Um, if you use my unique link, they know you came from me. I didn't get paid for it or anything, but I would, if you do purchase a product associated with the summit, I do get some money from that. But anyway, if you're interested in finding out more about that summit, who you can expect to be there, who you can expect to see there, I put a link into the description box of this live video. So go down along with all my links, my t-shirts and whatever other links I would normally have in the bottom of the video. If you go into the description box, you can click on that summit and see the preview for that summit. But I think that it's a really important thing, and I'm really proud to be, first of all, invited by all these people. These people have given their lives to sexual assault awareness and sexual assault healing. These people are 30 years in, 15 years in, 20 years in. I wouldn't think that I probably one of the least qualified people to be in this summit, but they reached out to me because they saw my sexual assault awareness video and they thought that I had something of value to offer. So I'm very excited to be a part of it. I'm very flattered to be a part of it, but I also believe in it a lot. So go in that link or go into my description, click on that link in my description box and check out the preview for that summit. The summit will consist of at least a few dozen or at least a couple dozen interviews with the world-renowned sexual assault therapists, sexual assault healing coaches, sexual assault professionals of all sorts, and just resources available to women who have been through that, so that they can learn to thrive despite their trauma. And I think it's really important again. So please check that out. It's in the description box of my video. You'll start seeing me promote a little bit more on Instagram. I'll probably drop something on here. So make sure you check that out. Now, with that said, I'm about to get into these questions and jump right into helping y'all. So again, if you're on YBS Love Sisterhood, why Sisterhood, I didn't give y'all a video this week. I was supposed to give y'all a video Thursday, but I still had some obligations dealing with this, and I thought it was really important to make sure that we provided again some service to people who really needed it in that way. Excuse me, my dog throat's dry. No, I ain't got the Rona. I just woke up. And again, if you're obviously watching on YouTube, I didn't have a video this week, but that was the reason why. So let me get my damn water. I had water. I'm gonna try to figure out where the fuck my water is, and I'm gonna get with y'all. Hold on. I don't even know. I think. Yeah, I'm gonna put the computer right here. I'm being lazy today. I'm just chilling right now. So I'm gonna put the computer right here and get my damn water. All right. We chilling. I know y'all like, damn, this is shaky live. All right. So, yeah, y'all know hat is in full effect today. I don't think nobody got to connect on the barber right now, so all of us are looking a little crazy. I know I am. I could cut my own hair, but it's been a minute, so I'm gonna leave that to the professionals probably, and just go bushman until I got the time for it. So anyway, thank you again for joining me. Let's dig into it. Um, Jade, Jean, or Jeannie, or hey, love and respect. I'm not the best with names. She says, "I have a question. When you speak on the possibilities of dating while social distancing? Stay safe, bro." I'm gonna sip some of this. Um, Dating while social distancing is not much different than dating with the social distancing because everything seems to start with most people online anyway. Um, so don't overcomplicate it. I think dating while social distancing makes it all the more important to have phone conversations and FaceTimes instead of cheap flirtatious text messaging. Um, I don't see very much value in that, regardless whether or not we're in the middle of a pandemic or not. But um, other than that, you might not get to your first date as quickly as you normally would. Most people just like to text their way and fumble themselves into a first date. Now you actually have to have great conversations. You have to actually be entertaining enough and be interesting enough to keep someone's interest before you get a date. So there are those who are intellectually challenged and have trouble entertaining people with great conversation, and people are going to have to start using tools outside of their sex and their attraction and their attractiveness to keep people interested. And so I think that this is a great learning grounds for a lot of people who have really neglected the development of conversation skills and emotional intimacy and intellectual depth. People, you got to be entertaining, and if you can't go on the first date because you're following the rules, you should probably learn to keep people's attention, and men should learn to keep your attention with good conversation and some emotional investment instead of just a flirty banter and fun sex memes or whatever people are into at the moment. Hey, y'all know a lot of new people follow me this week. Is weird. My channel views were on the ground about 2 weeks ago. It was so damn depressing. I didn't even want to look at the comment section. Not because I didn't care about the comments, but I had to separate myself from the nothing that was happening on my views. And sometimes I do that. I much rather just not look at it if my channel is like kaput and going down, and I got other stuff I can do anyway. And to keep myself encouraged, I don't like to stare into the analytics when I'm having like a downturn in traffic, and it happens around this time every year. It looks like my channel be dying for about a month. It's bad. So this apparently was that month for me, but the last couple of days I'm back to about normal, almost normal. So not sure what that was about. I've had enough to keep me busy anyway, so I wasn't neglecting the channel because of that. I just had a lot of stuff going on. I'm gonna dig into this first super chat. I appreciate you. BYNC dating stories and advice. Love and respect. I think I got an inbox from you on Instagram, and it's in there somewhere. Like I be my Instagram is lit. Everybody got all this time on their hands, and I'm not assuming you do, but I don't. I actually am more busy since before the quarantine than after or I'm more busy now than before the quarantine because I still work a job. I'm an essential worker. I work in healthcare. I do a very important job at a hospital. Uh, uh, and with that said, I got to go work 40 hours a week. And then when I come home, everybody who has time to contact me for advice or for anything now is contacting me. So my inbox is probably twice as lit as it was before people had time to sit down or needed to sit down and just chill at home. So I actually have a lot less time, not more time. I got 4 collaborations coming out and I'm working on. So like it's just a lot going on with me because a lot of people have time to sit down and figure out what they want or what they need from me. Anyway, so sorry for that inbox neglect. I always try to show love to you, but I just been a little bit busy. Anyway, she said hello. Finally caught one. I sent you a question a few days ago on Insta. Oh look, I was just talking about that. Um, Thanks for continuing to inspire. I'm gonna get with your question on Insta. I will write you back. I'm probably write myself a note about that. But I will write you back. Probably even probably tomorrow. I'll write you back tomorrow before I start my no nothing day. Tomorrow I don't even play video games no more. But tomorrow I'm just playing video games and kind of doing my own thing. I need an antisocial day to be quite honest. Oh look at I almost drunk in front of y'all. Hmm. That was a good nap. So I'm gonna get with you. I appreciate you. Let me see. Somebody says we were dating for over a year. Now he doesn't answer my calls or texts. Do you think he was just taking some space, or could he be completely done with me? I don't know if he's completely done with you, but and I don't know what led to him not taking your calls or texts. But I know if you have needs that aren't being met because he's social distancing from you, or for whatever reason neglecting his relationship with you. Sometimes the question isn't is he completely done with you, but why aren't you more done with him, given that he's completely neglected you or ghosted you in this relationship. I don't know what you did to piss him off. I don't know if you did anything at all, but I know that you also have needs, and neglect is not a way to handle any issue. So if there was an issue that caused him to move away, um, I'm still curious as to why you think that his response would be okay or an acceptable response to whatever tribulations y'all relationship is having right now. Um, if he's not completely done with you, him not taking your calls and texts and abandoning your relationship emotionally and contact wise should be reason enough for you to be done with him. You have to require more. Something tells me that you just continue to move on if he just started being nice to you and giving you a little bit of validation. And I'm not sure that that's healthy for anybody to ever to have that much power and authority over you that they can just do what they want to do and come back. Again, you may have done something that you're not telling me, but I do believe that you might have the wrong idea about whether or not he's done with you in the absence of what you should be thinking and feeling and planning yourself for this relationship. Somebody says my ex sent me 3 bouquets of flowers a day. Does that mean he wants to get back with me, or is it because of quarantine? No, if he's your ex, he probably has some concern for you. He probably has some feelings for you, and he most likely he wants to get back with you. I don't think I'd ever send anything like that to a woman. I wasn't looking to impress in a different way than I had previously, unless I was trying to reignite something romantic. But um, he's your ex for a reason. So I'm not sure if 3 bouquets of flowers is reason enough or gift, a nice enough, heavy enough gift for him to come back into your life. Why is he your ex? Consider that. What the hell led to him being an ex instead of your current man? Like those issues still aren't resolved, and so don't let a person buy you back with a gift, and or I don't know who did what to who, but it doesn't sound like a gift was your problem if y'all broke up. It doesn't sound like you broke up with him because you didn't have 3 bouquets of roses or whatever. Um, so there's still an issue. The underlying issue of your relationship is what needs to be worried about. And if you're past it or not, not whether or not he bought you some flowers. I don't think that you should put a price on your stability and on your mental and spiritual balance. And if a person's disturbed that, and they're your ex because they take away from your life instead of add to it, you can give me 14 fucking bouquets of flowers. You're still not coming back into my life. You're not going to destroy my energy and my circle of happiness with your bullshit. So I guess figure out if that matters at all that he wants you back, first of all. But yeah, I'm sure it's a good sign. Um, Andrea, still love and respect. How you doing, YBS Love Family? She said boredom and loneliness makes you do things you wouldn't normally. Absolutely, it does. Absolutely. And a lot of women are taking back their exes during this quarantine because they're not used to being this quiet and this still. And the stillness of it all is almost treacherous to the heart because you're going to do some things that are would normally would be betraying who you normally are and what you normally represent and the power and authority that you normally have over your relationships and over your personhood. You're probably going to that will be tested when you're sitting in the house and you've watched all the Netflix that you care to watch, and you've binged watch all my videos or all the videos of whatever YouTube. You've looked at all the cooking shows and whatever shit that y'all watched on YouTube to figure out how to make your days go by a little quicker. It's very difficult to continue to be lonely and bored and resist those temptations. So for those of you fighting the power, fighting the urge, and fighting the pull, I'm very proud of you. But I understand that some relapses are in full effect because of this quarantine, and y'all just got to be strong. Um, Somebody said. Andrea still said, but he was trying before the shutdown. Absolutely. Most of these guys had it planned out, and trust me, the funny thing about it is a lot of these guys are sending y'all flowers and making up with y'all, spending their whole days trying to figure out who they can make up with just so they can have a cuddy buddy during this whole quarantine in somebody's house who they can sneak over and pretend like they was going to the grocery store when the police catch them and they pull them over. Hey, where you going? I'm going home. And try and come over your house. Like, that quarantine and chill thing is real. It's absolutely real. The first 3 days of quarantine, I got contacted by so many women. I was just like, man, what's up with this dude? I ain't talked to him in 6 months, but he trying to come over here because it's quarantine. So now people thought I was playing when I sent that status out on Facebook and Instagram, but I was dead serious. Um, I'm usually pretty serious. Um, yeah, let me see. Andrea still said anybody can send flowers, but what action is he taking? What work is he putting in? Absolutely, God can't just send you flowers and come back. Like, that's like one of those movies where a guy, screws up royally, and then he comes back with some expensive bracelet gift or something like that. We all be yelling at the TV screen, "Don't do it! Don't do it!" So at the moment, you're the TV screen, and we're trying to tell you that there may be some other things to consider. Let me see. I got my phone in my pocket. Somebody just, y'all forgive me. My phone going off. I want to make sure I'm not getting no important text messages. All right. So let me dig into. Okay, we good now. I had to refresh my comment section. I'm gonna go up. Hold on. Okay. So somebody said, "What the hell is that advertisement?" I don't know. Um, I don't know what you're talking about. Um, Somebody said, "Why you keep covering the screen while you drink?" Oh, because my duck lips look funny, and and when I'm looking at the camera and I'm turning the bottle up, it just looks really goofy to me. So that's why. Uh, I don't want to choke trying to fake it, trying to look cool drinking, so I just cover the screen up. It looks awkward to me. We all have our insecurities. Somebody said, "Why do men continuously hurt a woman who genuinely loves them?" Uh, well, first of all, you just answered your question in that question. Men continue to hurt a woman who genuinely loves them when they don't genuinely love that woman. If your question was why do men continuously love women they genuinely love, you probably wouldn't have ever asked it. But of course, there are those who continuously hurt people who genuinely love them, because people who genuinely love someone who doesn't love them are a resource for that person, right? If you like somebody and they don't like you back, or you love somebody and they don't really love you back, um, they pretty much can do what they want to you and still retain the resources that you provide. The, you, I'm not going to say they're not wrong for that, because they're absolutely wrong. But you're no victim deciding to go against the wind and against the storm of somebody treating you like shit. You're deciding to try to earn your way. And maybe somebody else you're talking about, but I'm assuming it's you. You've decided to try to earn your way uh, to loyalty, which can't be done. A man is either loyal or not loyal, committed or not committed, genuine or not genuine, right? Loving or not loving, right? There are no, they're nothing to earn. If a man is what he is, nothing you can do will change that. You can't be loyal to a guy who's unloyal and be shocked when he does what he does on a regular basis. You can't earn his loyalty and his love through affection, through sex, through gift giving, through money, through pick the thing that women do to try to earn the heart of a guy. If he's not willing to give it and he has no intention to love, he's not going to love, and that's why, because he doesn't genuinely love you back. So if you're dealing with a guy who doesn't genuinely love you, my advice for you is to stop. I know that can be hard. I know it's easier said than done, but that it makes no sense at all to continue coming forward to be abused by somebody. And if is he continuously hurting you, or are you continuously hurting yourself? Fire is pretty. Fire is gorgeous. Fire is beautiful. I know I'm not the only one in here who's stared into a flame, just mesmerized by the way it moves. And I'm no pyromaniac, but fire is pretty. Now, if you touch fire and it burns you, you say, "Damn, it's pretty," but shit burns. It's hot, and you touch it again, and you give yourself a first-degree burn, and a third-degree burn, and a fourth-degree burn, and you pretty much burn your hand to a crisp. It's not the fire hurting you; it's you hurting you, right? And these men that some of you dedicate your lives to are like fire. They're beautiful. They're mesmerizing, um, but they're dangerous. And if you keep coming forward, knowing a man can hurt you and willing to hurt you, and is willing to hurt you, and has hurt you, and will continue to hurt you as you come forward, you can't then say he continuously hurts you because you genuinely love him. You like fire, and you like to play with fire, and you get burned quite a bit. And there are those who get burned a lot. Um, there are those who, self harm, and sometimes women use men in a way that is almost like self harming. There are those who cut and do various things to expose themselves to pain. Uh, there are those women who actually use men in almost the same way. They feel like they deserve to hurt as punishment for not being good enough to these guys. Sometimes there's a odd mental hold that some men have on women, and they exploit it. You don't want to be one of those women. So if a guy is continuously hurting you, it means you're continuously hurting yourself by allowing it and by presenting yourself as a resource to be hurt again over and over and over. Um, so just leave that guy alone. It's not him hurting you; it's you hurting you. After when you know better, you needed to do better, and he's not offering you anything. So move on. Um, Amy Wolf said, "How can you tell if a dude is bisexual or on the DL?" I wouldn't know. I think the DL brothers would I guess you had to find somebody who's a reformed bisexual or down low brother, or who used to be secret about it. And I'm sure there are some things to look out for, but I don't know a whole lot about down low brothers. I represent, first of all, I represent for real men. And not necessarily that bisexual guys aren't real men, but these down low brothers are a different breed. They are living in secret, and they have uh, and I don't know why they would live in secret. Like, I believe in being everything you are. And a guy can be gay and or be bisexual and be very masculine, and so it's not necessarily about his sexual orientation. But these download brothers almost live a lie. Well, not almost. They live a lie, and then for whatever reason, they include people in that lie. So anybody living a double life is going to be more difficult for the majority of us to understand, because it takes a great deal of effort to live a double life. I don't know how to tell if a guy is bisexual or not, quite honestly. That's just something I've never dug into. I think it would be a great thing to study and look into, but thus far, I can't give you down low relationship advice, just because I'm not really familiar with it. And most of the women I encounter, most of my knowledge comes from either the experience I had before I started this YouTube channel, or the experiences I have in coaching people through thousands and thousands of these conversations I've had. Most of the time, I'm talking to women who are dealing with heterosexual guys. So, or I'm dealing with, you know, uh, gay guys who are, feminine enough, who are just having trouble with outwardly gay guys. And so, from a relationship standpoint, this is all just basic psychology. But I can't tell you the psychology of someone who would be, on the down low or bisexual and not necessarily forthcoming with that information. So I don't know. But that's a good question. Maybe I'll look into it. Maybe I'll fortify my knowledge base on that and on that realm, and figure out how to give you a healthy enough, helpful enough video. Uh, Pretty girl moderating. I appreciate it. Okay. Irania Cortizo. I'm not gonna beat up your last name anyway. Thank you for the $1 super chat. YouTube doesn't show me the super chats as they come up if they're like less than $2 or something, but I still care about them and I appreciate you. So thank you for that. She didn't even ask a question; she just showed love. Um, somebody said Somebody said, if you've been dating for at least 8 weeks, crazy attraction, making out but no sex, is it okay to ask a guy what he wants? This guy is so inconsistent, but we have great chats and via talks. Yeah, I think that I think that the whole point of you spending 8 weeks entertaining yourself with the guy at all is to figure out, or to grow into a point to where you're comfortable with him, and to figure out if you will ever be able to be emotionally intimate with him, intellectually intimate with him, and completely comfortable. I think that the comfort that you experience in a relationship is extremely important. There are those who are in these sexual relationships, or have a lot of these encounters with these guys, that they have deep admiration for. They care for them a lot, but they don't feel comfortable having conversations, and being real, and being genuine about how they feel, what they feel, and sharing their thoughts. I think that the growth in a relationship is indicative or the thoughts you share with each other are indicative of the growth that you've had in a relationship. So some of you are asking, what are you? And sometimes your answer is within that question. If you're not comfortable enough to share certain ideas and certain thoughts with a person, then you may not be what you would hope to be. And so I think I would just say, pick up the emotional intimacy. You can ask a man anything you want to. I don't think you're obligated to spend any more time not knowing what the hell's going on. So yes, to answer your question, yes, it's okay to ask a man, and it's always okay to ask a man, especially before things get physical or graduate to a level like that. Um, Shalana, uh, Shalana Beauty, love and respect to you. Thank you for the $5 super chat. She said, "I have two kids with my 5-year-old needing a father. Um, is it realistic for me to want a man without kids? My daughter reserves all the love. Uh, it's realistic for you to want a man with no kids. If the heart wants what the heart wants, and so does the mind, right? As does the mind. You can want what you like, and so no, it's not. It's not unrealistic. I don't think that some people would agree that you should make that a requirement, but it's not for those people, right? We have to stop, and I don't assume you are here, but we have to stop waiting for permission to be whatever we are, right? And so that's my issue with a lot of things. I think that somebody asked me about the Download Brothers, earlier. I don't know about what they how they operate or how to tell, but what I do know is that it's always indicative of something wrong when a person is asking permission for not only who they are but what they want. Right? They need to be allowed by some entity to be everything they are. And you have a very simple request. You have two kids. You really don't have the energy reserve left for other kids. It doesn't matter if other people understand that. It's completely okay that you do and that you feel that way. Whether or not you find that, um, you know, as fast as you could find a guy with some kids, is beyond me. Maybe you will, maybe you won't. I know a lot of guys I know date women with kids, and that it's just not a problem. Hell, my mom got married and she found a husband. She had kids. She had grown kids, and I was still very much in the house. I think I was 12 when my mom got married next. So it is possible to find a man who doesn't have kids. I think my stepfather had kids, but they were adults by that time. But no, I know men who will step in there and be a father to other kids. But a man has to date you and your kids. And once it gets serious enough that a man deserves to meet your kids, that you can trust him, and you've been with him a long enough time to know that he's consistent and his intent is to love you and love your kids. You introduce them, and if that works out, and if he dates your kids for a while, and this seems to be a good thing in their lives, then yeah, it's absolutely possible. But it doesn't matter if I think it's okay that you want a man with no kids or someone else does. The hell with whoever doesn't. Right? You know what you want, and your daughter reserves all the love, and you want to make sure that she has an experience that you can look back on her childhood and be proud of. So, as a mother, do whatever you have to do to make sure that you can provide the environment that you want for your child or your children. And it doesn't matter if I understand it or anybody else understands it. Veronica C, love and respect. Thank you so much for the $10 super chat. She said, thoughts on online dating apps. I was trying to use them to practice dating, but realized I shouldn't use people. Well, I suppose if you're using the app, it's appropriate. If you're using people, not so much. It seems like you felt like you had no real intention to date those people, that you were just practicing with them, and I think that's a little bit wrong. But if you were just using the dating apps and were open to meeting somebody and having a substantive relationship, then that would be another thing. So if you were just using people, yeah, you shouldn't use people. Online dating apps are fine; they're awesome. I met my wife officially on MySpace. That was many years ago, obviously dating myself, but I had an intent to find someone who I was interested in. If you don't have that intention and you're just playing, you probably get off the dating apps. But if you're serious about potentially connecting with somebody who you find qualified, then even if you don't like the person that you come against, like that's what online dating is. Online dating is a series of speed interviews, in an inbox, and some people make it to the second round and some people don't. Right? It's almost like a show Voice or American Idol. Some people go to Hollywood and some people don't. And so, as long as you have the intent to find someone to push them to the next level or to connect with them in a deeper way, just because you don't like a person or you're deciding not to date these people or for weak chats or whatever you might not like about them, as long as there's an intent to find somebody and you're just not practicing on people, I think you're okay. But I'm in support of dating apps. I like dating apps. I think that if used appropriately, they can be very helpful. If you're screening men appropriately and not just trying to pick your dating profile pictures. Too many women are dating and selecting men based on their profile pictures alone. And their type. If you can get away from the idea of a type, and or at least add things that matter and the things that are valuable in that type, you could do yourself some good. CCLV Christina, love and respect. Thank you for the $10 super chat. She said, "Could you talk about the expectation to look for in a man, mannerisms, etc." Um, I suppose everybody has their own unique needs. We all have our own unique needs, our intrinsic needs and values. And so, what you might look for in a man, if I was to tell you what you need, would be completely different or could be completely different than what I would have suggested another woman look for. Um, so, for me, the expectations that you should have in a man should be consistency, should be loyalty, should be respect, um, should be patience, should be gentleness, right? Should be ambition, like those basics. You should expect that of a man because those are intrinsic to a man's duty, right? What does a man? What does it mean to be a man? You know, a man who has those is likely to provide, is likely to love fully and completely, is likely to protect. Right? There are certain intrinsic like male masculine needs that are supposed to be being met in a relationship. So the mannerisms that you would expect, I don't mannerisms are physical. They're just our manifestations of attitude and poise, and so I don't think mannerisms are as important as just a man's overall his ways, his way of being, the way he his actions, what he bases his decisions on, his character, what he believes in, and what moves him, what he's passionate about. Like for instance, um, my wife can expect me to provide because I'm going to provide. She can expect me to protect with my life because I believe that a man should do that. Right? She always feels safe and she always feels cared for. She knows the money's coming in and she knows I'm going to make sure we eat and we live good. Right? But after that, she still expects me to support her in certain ways, right? Emotionally, she expects me to attempt to get my shit together if I'm bothering her, right? There's a personal responsibility that real men have to make adjustments and evolve for their families and be the one who takes the punishment if any punishment needs to be doled out by the world. Uh, to be on the front line of adversity for the family. So I can't tell you exactly what mannerisms to come with that, but I can tell you that if you find a man that has a passionate purpose to be the man in a relationship and he understands masculinity from a place of responsibility and purpose, um, the mannerisms can come afterward. But as long as a man has a responsibility in his mind, and maybe I need to rephrase these, but I think that you understand what I'm saying. And if not, inbox me on Instagram and let me know that you asked that question, and then I'll probably get with you with a more specific answer. But that's a loaded question, so it could go a lot of different directions. Sorry. Um, Alvante, October, love and respect for you. Thank you for the $5 super chat. Somebody said, "Why?" She said, "I'm sorry. Why are men afraid of their feelings? It was perfect between us, and then he says we were moving too fast." Uh, Relationships feel like an invasion of privacy for a man. They feel like an invasion of security. So women love sometimes not all of them, but a lot of women love the process of falling in love so much so that uh, that's the addiction. Is like a lot of people start new relationships all the time because they love the feeling of going into it. Um, men don't like it so much. It's a very scary thing to start trusting a woman, to start loving a woman to the point that you're vulnerable to her. It's the most uncomfortable feeling that I've had in my dating experience. The fun part for a man is, man, I got this fine ass girl's number and I talked to her and it was so great. Once you start having feelings, you're like, shit, can I trust these feelings? Can I trust her? Should I trust her? Is this a bad decision? Is she gonna make me look stupid one day? Is she about to play me? I bet she gonna play me. I can't believe this girl gonna play me. Why am I talking to this girl? Why am I answering the phone? Like you don't. It's almost like you go into this self-protective mode where you don't necessarily want to be that vulnerable with anybody because you can't trust it. And guess what? A lot of men have been hurt. We talk a lot about how women get hurt. Men are getting their asses crushed on a daily basis. Trust me. I've been hurt a couple of times. The men I know, all of the men I know, have been very disappointed a few times. So it feels very unsafe for us. And men like to be in control, and you are not in control when you fall in love with somebody. So yeah, a lot of guys will say you're moving too fast. But I can tell you what, if a man's screwing you and he says you're moving too fast, you probably should stop screwing him because there are those who say they're moving too fast and really believe it because they're a little shaken emotionally or they're a little off balance emotionally and they have to adjust into falling in love. But there are others who just say they're moving too fast because they don't want to be held responsible for a woman's heart or being loyal to her. So I don't know which one of those circumstances fit you more, but I can tell you, you should probably figure out if this man is serious about moving too fast or if he's just nervous about commitment because he never intended to. Figure out if his intent is to commit or not, and don't wait forever. Janae says coy. I might have got that. She said, "How do you? Thank you for your $10 super chat." She said, "How do you hold a man accountable when he messes up?" Um, I suppose it depends on how he messed up. But you hold a man accountable by keeping whatever standards you had previously before he messed up. So if your standard was I will never let a man cheat on me twice, and he cheats on you once, you need to take a leave of absence for a little bit. Take a little time. Make sure you are intact with your commitment to yourself, not to let it happen twice. Figure out how what that looks like for you. Are you willing to uphold the standard that you have and give this brother a chance, or was the standard that you already had broken? You hold a man accountable by being exactly what you wanted to be, what you planned on being, and what you respect most about who you were before you got with him. So it's really holding you accountable, not holding him accountable. It's holding you accountable and making sure that if he is in your life again, that he's acknowledged that he has an issue. Because if failure to acknowledge the issue is almost the promise of a reoccurrence of the original problem. So make sure he takes responsibility, but it's less about holding him accountable and holding you accountable. A man can hold himself accountable as long as the standard is clear. And if the standard is broken, you may want to move on or take a leave of absence until you can get yourself together and figure out if that standard was too strict for you. Irania Cortizo, I'm not going to beat that up. She said, I came out of a domestic violence. She said, I came out of domestic violence, and this new guy says he cares but hasn't taken me on a date and helped his ex-wife move to Maryland with him and only texts hot and cold, but says he cares. What should I do? If he lives with his ex-wife and he's hot and cold with you, you should move on. Um, yes, you came out of domestic violence, and yes, the new guy says he cares. But if he hasn't taken you on a date and he's helping his ex-wife move to Maryland with him, and he only texts you, if he's hot and cold when he's texting you, it tells me that he's torn between two ideas: the idea of the future and what he's drawn to from his past. And I don't know if you could ever beat from a distance anyway a man's history. So like you're the new idea, but he's felt her, he's loved her, he's with her. It's very difficult to go forward when you're immersing yourself in the past, and because you don't have the same access to him, you don't have the same contact with him. You can't even compete with what's right in front of him with his history, and he has his whole heart invested in her. That's why he's helping her move with him. That's why he's still trying to take care of her as a man takes care of his responsibilities. He still feels responsible for her. So you don't really have a place with him. Yes, he says he cares, but hell, a lot of us care about stuff that we can't have, care about people that we wouldn't be with. That's like natural for a man to still care about you and not be able to give himself to you. So yeah, he cares about you, but he loves her, and there's a difference. You really can't compete with that. And as long as he's still stuck on her, you're probably just going to be disappointed waiting around for him to look at you long enough to see your value. And his actions with her doesn't um, it doesn't erase or void the things that you offer, but you can't continue to offer those to him because he's not a willing recipient of them because he's too distracted with his ex. So you just got to move on. You're a third wheel at the moment. That's what it seems like. But I don't know your business. If you want to give me some more details, any of you can contact me on girltalkwithguys.com. You can set up an hour-long phone consultation. I've been doing a lot of those lately with the quarantine. A lot of people have been talking to me on the phone, trying to figure out what's going on in their life, and you can do the same thing. Um, the time is around. The time is definitely available. Uh, mm, Andy Solon. I'm gonna beat your name up. I'm so sorry. Anyway, love and respect. Thank you for the $19 super chat. She said, "Why when breaking up with the guy they try to hit it, try to hit below the belt?" I'm sorry. I think that that's just a mark of maturity, a sign of maturity or immaturity. There are those who, when they hurt, they want to hurt. The saying is, hurt people." And so, if you're breaking up with a guy, he's if he's hurt, if he's affected by it, and he doesn't know what else to do, it probably makes him feel a little bit more like a man to respond with aggression and you know try to hit you below the belt. Like I said, he's trying to reduce your value to him. He's trying to convince himself that he doesn't care about you. And in doing that, he has to convince you that he doesn't care about you. And so it's almost easier to be angry than it is to be sad. And so they say anger is usually the mask of sadness and the mask of pain. And so it looks more masculine to be upset. It looks more masculine to yell or to viciously attack somebody than to cry right in a corner. If he doesn't feel like a man, tearing up, crying over you, begging, pleading. So it makes him feel more manly, more masculine, more emotionally independent to insult you. It's almost like what school children do when they're hurt. They lash out. It's not necessarily about you. It's about him trying to figure out how to look, kind of hard on the way out. He wants to maintain his dignity and his self-respect. And some people's immature idea of doing that is to tear down the person that they were previously in love with, because at least it looks like he doesn't care. And he's putting you out because it feels like power, but it's not. It's actually quite the opposite, and it just means he's very hurt, and that's why he's hitting below the belt. But with that said, there's no reason to talk down to a woman. There's no reason to be rough with a woman. It's very small of him and very low of him, and I think you just put him in a very low place by breaking his heart, so he doesn't know how to respond. He's not the victim here, most likely, and I'm not trying to obviously humanize him or validate what he's doing or defend it, but I'm just giving you the reason why he's trying to hit below the belt. He's hurt, and he's trying to make himself feel more like a man and make himself feel more emotionally independent on the way out because he feels like a sucker. I'm gonna drink some of this water. So anyway, I hope that helps. All right, let me back into these questions. Somebody said we essential workers have our hands full. United States helping our country. Absolutely. Let me see. Somebody said, I'm thankful I still got a full-time job for now. I'm also in healthcare on the administration side, and I'm still working a ride share job. Look here, I am not doing no ride share with all the mess going around. I'm gonna have to skip on the ride share. But hey, you be careful. You wear a mask. Somebody said, Imagine Av, thank you for this $2 super chat. My wife's sending me these $2 super chats. She said, how do I speed up the process of from best friend zone? I do have a video. I have a couple friend zone videos. Big J 24 in the building. What's up with you, Big J? Big J is one of the guys that always frequents the comment section. He be dropping game too. Let me see. I don't think that's something that you can't fast track or speed up the process of friend zone. You want to make sure that you handle that very delicately, because sometimes you're a lot further away from romance than you thought you were. And it's very difficult to tell when somebody genuinely is your friend and genuinely loves you and cares for you. It's almost hard to tell sometimes what they're doing out of love for you and or romantic interest, or just as a platonic friend. So speeding up the process is not necessarily the best method to take. They have to discover something in you that they never noticed, right? So you can't do anything different. They have to see you as a sexual being. They have to see you as a viable romantic option. And there's almost nothing you can do outside of being your best, looking your best, and being supportive with them, and being, an emotional support for them. There's almost nothing you can do to force them to see you differently, to switch that switch on or to flip that switch on. They have to notice something something in you. And a lot of times it happens a lot. People go from the friend zone to to romantic interest, but it's because that person just discovered something in them, not necessarily because they did something special. There's no secret. But I do have a couple of friend zone how to defeat the friend zone videos. They're probably over a year old, so go into the videos that are about a year old. Go to my uploads and scroll down quite a bit. But the friend zone videos are in there. Um, so I appreciate your $5 super chat, Imagine Av. You did $5 and a $2 super chat. Look, I think you hit me again. Let me see. Somebody else said, I ghosted. How do I deal when he comes back? I'm sorry. I was ghosted. Other did a 3.99 super chat. That's a cool enough name. Other. She said, I was ghosted. How do I deal when he comes back? Well, if you were ghosted, it shows a lack of respect and lack of consideration. And it also shows that he's a little bit conflict avoidant, because that's what people ghost for. That's why people ghost, because they're conflict avoidant. They don't want to have that difficult conversation. But if you were ghosted by a guy, then he probably most likely has the propensity to do it again, and it's something that you should consider before really doing anything. If a man ghosts you and he comes back, like, screw him. Like, I don't like, you don't do nothing. I don't you don't even acknowledge that it's happening, because most of the time when a man ghosts you, it's to go chase another woman. Uh, Very rarely do people ghost someone or disappear just to go be alone for a long time. Right? There are people who have emotional needs and some and emotional illnesses that do that. But for the most part, when a guy ghosts you, it's because somebody who he thought was more important, more exciting, more attractive, or more willing to do whatever he wanted him to do, um, became the object of his attention. And so, when a guy ghosts you, it's not a good idea to wait for him to come back and then try to re-engage him and be more interesting, because it puts you at a disadvantage. Now you're doing extra stuff to make sure you earn your place in his life and keep him around, and it's kind of self-sacrificing from that point. So I don't think that you should do anything when a guy ghosts you and come back. And in fact, if a person ghosts you, I would remove their access from you. So I don't like blocking or unblocking. But you have to detach yourself from them, and sometimes blocking and blocking, not unblocking. If I block somebody, they're never unblocked. Screw them, like, f them. So if you're going to block them for good, and don't engage, because it's almost pointless. They're going to do it again eventually when they find somebody more attractive, more interesting, more willing to do what you were not willing to do. Patty Rubble, Patty. I'm gonna just call you Patty. Love and respect to you, Patty. She said, "Does relationships between an older woman and a younger man really last?" From time to time, they do. Uh, I suppose it depends on how much older and how much younger. I've been meaning to do, and I think I might have started a video, because I get this question quite a bit from older women who date younger men. Uh, it just depends on what a guy is attracted to in you, and whether or not you can provide something that other women, from his point of view, can't provide. But a guy has to be madly in love with you. It can't be. He can't. I can tell you this: if a young man is approaching you like he would approach any other woman, uh, you know, just trying to just talk to you a little bit, and he's just texting you a little bit, like, it should never be a question whether or not you are that, or like who's getting chased. The only time you should even consider dating a young man seriously, if you're older and there's more than a 12 inch I'm sorry, a 12 year gap, or a 10-year gap even, is when he is completely and utterly in love with you, and that's like a parent. If a man is just approaching you, the relationship, as men approach relationships sometimes, trepidatiously, or he's in and out, he's hot and cold, he's trying to maintain his leverage. You can't play the game of power with a young man. It's a counterintuitive, because a young man playing a young man's game is just trying to really satisfy a fantasy has of satisfy a fantasy he has of screwing an older woman, or exploring an older woman, or exploiting her. So The only time that it's appropriate to date a young man or a very much younger man, if you're an older woman, is when it is apparent that that young man is in love with you and he's committed himself to the idea of being with you on a serious level. You should never wonder if a young man is into you. Like to start on the back foot like that with a young man is just a treacherous game, because most of the time you're much more like the young woman that he's playing with when he's doing that. He should always approach you differently. He should always be taking you serious from the very beginning. He should always be offering you a full on relationship. Like, he has to be approaching you as if he knows what he wants. If he's approaching you like he does all the other women, and you're having these weak text conversations where you doing WYD question mark, there's no emotional connection. There's no intent to love you through his actions, through his commitment to you, through what you talk about, the subject matter of your conversations. He's not requesting you, take him serious. He's not looking for it to be your man, and he's not asking you that. Like it should be very apparent what a young man wants from you. That he wants a relationship. That he wants love from you. And if he's not requesting love and he's not presenting love from you, or love to you, then you're just playing with a young man. And so they have their place. They can be play toys or whatever, but they definitely don't need to be taken seriously unless they approach you in the old school way, like a gentleman used to approach a woman when he just wanted to love her and he needed her heart, and he was offering his. Um, so I want to make a video about that, because there's a lot of big ideas that I'm referring to here, and I can't condense them into the small answer. But that's your answer for now. He has to be on your ass seriously, and he has to be offering you raw emotion. Colette C, I appreciate you, love and respect. Thank you for the $3.99 super chat. Um, Danielle, I appreciate you too. Thank you for the $5 super chat. She said, "Hi Kevin, the guy sends me good morning text and asks if I'm the only one he sends. I ask if I'm the only one he sends this to, and he says yes. I just want to confirm with you that he's lying." Well, yeah. He may or may not be sending good morning texts to other women, but good morning texts don't take any investment. And I don't assume this of you, what I'm about to say, but a lot of women think that a man, if he sends them a good morning text or a good night text, or hi gorgeous text, hi beautiful, all these morning texts that these guys send, they think, oh, okay, he must like me, he must have some. And I think that you understand your suspicion is right. He could be lying. Like, that means nothing. He could be just saying hi, right? He just wants to get you thinking about him. That's all that is. That's when people send good morning texts, but you don't hear from them during the day. They didn't send you that good morning text so that uh, you would feel that you would feel their love or feel their support or feel their connection to you. When you get good morning text, but then you really don't get a whole lot of contact after that, and a lot of women contact me or in that boat. They'll send me the text message threads. They'd be like, "Good morning," and then they try to have a long ass conversation through text where they get one word answers and responses. They don't get no call all day, and the next morning they get good morning, beautiful. That's just him trying to get you thinking about him. He's just restarting the clock all over again, breadcrumbing you so you continue to come forward and eventually get so desperate to close the gap that you start doing what he wants you to do more often, whether that's sexually, whether that's energetically, whether that's favors, whether that's whatever. He wants to leverage, and he knows if he just pokes at you every day and almost like pokes at you like you could on Facebook, like poke back, poke back. I think that's the stupidest shit in the world, but that's basically like what a person's doing. He might as well be poking you on Facebook when he sends you a good morning text if he's not giving you deep, thought-provoking conversations. He's not spending, obviously in this quarantine, larger amounts of time talking to you. People ain't got a whole lot to do. If he's not an essential worker and he ain't got shit to do, and all you getting is a text messages and you don't hear from him after that, it's not like he has anything to do. What is he doing? He's just texting a bunch of girls good morning, and then the more interesting ones are probably getting light conversation from him. So hold on. Good water. Um, so yeah, I wouldn't put any stock at all in the guy giving you a good morning text. That don't mean a damn bit of nothing. That's not an investment. That is literally nothing. Uh, Great conversation, long thought provoking conversation. The guy trying to get in your business and figure out what your issues are so he can contribute. Like, those things matter, but some motherfucker telling you good morning ain't doing no favors for you. um, Hey, look, Big J dropping game in the comment. He said it's pretty simple. He's cheating. Kev will elaborate if he answers that. Um, I probably will. I probably missed it at the moment, but we get back around to it. Um, Somebody said, why would a man allow one woman to do something sexually to him, but refuse to let another lady do it? Hmm. Well, I don't. I guess terrible head comes to mind. Uh, that's probably not what's going on, but um, there are women that, like, when I was dating, there were women that I knew that if I did certain things with, um, oh, like, you're talking about a specific thing. Ooh, okay. So there are some guys that are into some different stuff, some taboo things, and they might not trust certain women to do certain things with them, because they don't want to be the story in the dressing room or the bathroom when girls are talking about these guys. So it might be a trust thing with you. You might not trust that he can trust you with those stories or those secrets if he's doing some different type of stuff. Um, Otherwise, it's because he understands that, sexually, maybe a woman might take it a little bit too seriously if he did certain things with her, or if he had any sexual experiences with her. He might not want to hurt her, so he's guarding her from the mistakes she'd be making, and trying to compensate sexually by just not allowing her to be that for him, to keep her at bay, so he doesn't feel like he owes her anything. Sometimes guys feel like they owe somebody, when they take sex from a woman. They Some men, not all men, but some men feel like, okay, I must in turn either reciprocate with love or with some intent to be good to her. And no guy wants to obligate himself in that way if he doesn't first already care about you, or like you a lot. So maybe that's why. Otherwise, it might be too freaky, and he only wants somebody he can trust with those secrets to know what he likes in the bedroom. Which, again, I can't relate to. I keep things pretty basic. But from what I've known and heard about these guys in these conversations I've had with women, some stuff is a little taboo that they're into, and they don't want everybody to know that. And they might not trust you emotionally to keep those secrets. Uh, okay, so Paula Paula says, I'm so sorry. Paula says, I sent the question earlier, but I have another question. I have a friend that we've texted every day for the past year. Does he like me? Probably not. And I'm not, and I can't say that definitely, but I can't say that if he's texted you every day for a year, but he hasn't called you, and he hasn't tried to increase his contact with you, and the depth of your conversation hasn't grown, and he hasn't grown tired of being held at bay with text messages. If he hasn't tried to bridge the gap somehow, if especially if he's not long distance, like if a man's long distance, and he's texting you every day, that's one thing. He may just feel like you're out of reach. It's not a realistic possibility for y'all to be together. But if a guy is living in your city or living within 50 miles of you, and he's texting you every day, but it never graduates from that, then you've just found a place in his social life that gives him a little bit of validation when the dopamine response hits from a text message, or you've got mail. Like, they've done plenty of studies on people who live for the moment, that America Online, man, I'm dating myself again, that you've got mail. Like, people love to hear that they got mail, or that text message ding that y'all keep hearing on my phone. Some people live for that moment. It gives them a small chemical response, and it makes them feel validation for that split second where that sound's going off, that somebody wants to talk to them, somebody's reaching out to them. So I don't know if he's just using your text message conversation as kind of a dopamine supplement, or he's really interested in you. Now, again, I think he's fond of you either way. I'm not saying that he doesn't really like you or prefer you as a friend or as, a pen pal, but y'all basically just pen pals. And if I want a woman, and I'm still dating, in my hypothetical situation, obviously, if I was dating a woman, I'm not going to text her for a year, because while I'm texting her, some guy's probably coming over there. He's making out with her. He's pressing her up against the couch, and my dumb ass is texting her. The man that wants you ain't going to be texting you while somebody else pressing you up against the couch. He's trying to press you up against the couch. So I don't believe that a guy likes you if he texts you for that long without making a move, or increasing contact in some way that is substantial. Um, Good gracious. Y'all forgive me. I got allergies, so I've been having to clear my throat a lot too. I don't have the Rona. And for those of you who might be watching that have coronavirus, please get well soon. Somebody said, oh shit. Somebody said I'm 17 years old and I'm with a 40-year-old. Huh? Okay, I don't know. So Raheem is a young gentleman, I presume, 17 years old, with a 40-year-old woman, and he said it's going well, except when they're in public, she don't want to be associated with him. Well, of course she don't. She looks like a damn. Hold on. 17 is 4 and 40 is that's not appropriate. You're his mom at 17 and 40. No offense to my brother Raheem, but I mean you're winning, brother. I ain't mad at you. When I was 17, I was trying to figure out how to find a 40-year-old woman who was cool enough to hang out and I could play video games and go over there and get something and whatnot. But I digress. I'm gonna go on. I mean I ain't messing with you, Raheem. Somebody said tag team. Hey, why would a guy get mad when a woman has had sex with another man while they were separated? Man, because men assume that somebody said, why would a guy get mad when a woman has sex with another man when they were separated? Because a man wants to feel like you love him enough that you would wait to get back together. Like if a man breaks up with you or y'all have a separation that would end 2 weeks or 3 weeks, he wants to feel like you're emotionally connected enough that you might need some time to just sit and chill. He doesn't want to feel like you were happy to separate because you could screw somebody else. And again, that's not your problem. But no man wants to get back with a woman. Like no man wants his woman to nobody wants to nobody tapping a woman while y'all having some problems like that. That just is something that men have difficulty um, making peace with. Um, it's not your problem if y'all separated. Yeah, you a free woman. But like, I don't know if I've ever dated a woman that if I took a break, if I found out she screwed somebody while we was off for 2 weeks, shit, you with him now. Like, man, I'm not about to, you're not about to be my woman and then go off for 2 weeks doing what you want to do and then come back to me like, oh, I found myself. I really want to be with you. Man, to hell with that. You stay right where you at. Like, if I got you and you wasn't, you was with me, I ain't about to. I ain't flipping and flopping and swapping it out with nobody. Like nobody wants to share. Guys are very territorial. It's almost like letting the guy piss all over your territory. Like lions, they spray a particular bush, is my territory, and then it's almost like if the other lion, unless it's just banged to another man, had cubs with another lion, and then called the other lion back. It's like men fight to the death over that. People get killed over that. The animal kingdom is full of bloodshed because they fight over women. Women just don't understand how territorial men are. And I don't care if you've been separated for a week or for a month. A man would hope that you are so connected to him and so distraught that you can't continue. That's what the hope is, even though men are probably doing what they want to do on these separations. But you don't want to feel like, okay, somebody tapped your girl when you was out for a couple of days or you was out for a week or so. I don't know why. It's not the most mature thing in the world. It's not the most evolved thought, but it's the nature of men to want to know that what you want is your body. But that doesn't mean that most men will accept the fact that you screwed somebody while you were just on a break, especially if he didn't screw around while you were on a break. He was just thinking about you, and you pressed up against the couch somewhere. It's just it would be too much to handle for most men. And I'm not even sure I've ever been man enough to be like, oh, okay, you screwed so and so on a break. All right, it's all good. Let's get back together. No, you might as well screwed him right in my face. It's a wrap, and it's because I'm just very territorial, and most men are. And again, it's not your problem. It's his problem. He got to deal with it. You should have been connected. You should have felt loved enough to not be separated in the first place. So I hope that helps. Good gracious. Y'all forgive me for clearing my throat so much. Oh, first of all, Veronica C, thank you so much for the $10 super chat. And I've been looking at this little cartoon character thing for a minute. He looked like he got the workout headband on. It's like a workout pair, fit pair. Well, I appreciate the fit pair super chat. Um, let me see. Hmm? uh, I don't know nothing about that. There's some interesting questions in this comment section. We'll move on about that. Um, Somebody said, I said I love you first. Really didn't want to say it, but I'm too honest. Won't say it again. Do you think I was wrong? No. If that's how you feel, that's how you feel. You're never wrong for being everything you are genuinely, whatever you are. Be what you are, and be happy about who you are. And if you're not happy about who you are, then that's the problem. Whether I think you are wrong or not is inconsequential. If that's how you felt, that's how you felt. I think the method that we share our feelings and emotions and thoughts is more destructive or more important at times. But the fact that we feel this way or that way is completely up to us. So never apologize or ask for validation to feel a certain way or to even express those feelings as long as the expression of those feelings is appropriate. Um, but no, you weren't wrong for telling them how you felt if that's how you felt. But again, I don't know how y'all relationship has come to develop. Somebody said somebody said, "How come every time I talk about my past, he gets pissed at me? You're probably being too graphic, and he probably doesn't want to imagine you with another man, and you may be talking about your past with other guys. Some guys just like to pretend that they were the first guy there, that they hit it first, or that your experience with love started with them. It's almost like." Uh, it's just his way of detaching himself from the idea that maybe you love somebody more than him at some point or as much as him at some point. Maybe you've experienced obviously the romance with somebody at some point that he doesn't want to have to compare himself up against your history. And so for a coping mechanism that he has is pretending that you don't have a history. Because he's not completely comfortable with the fact that it could have been great, could have been better than him, or maybe it wasn't, but maybe it still affects you. He just wants to think that he's the first there and he's the most important. And if he wants to trick himself into that, that's up to him. But that's why he doesn't want you bringing up your past, because I think you may be bringing it up a little bit casually or a little bit too frequently, and he feels like either you're still attached to your past since it's a part of your conversation on a regular basis, or he feels intimidated by your past because maybe the figures in your past don't make him feel more confident about himself, but less confident. Colette C, love and respect you. Thank you for the $2. I'm sorry, the $5 super chat. She said, any advice on rebuilding self-esteem while fighting romantic loneliness, as well as codependent tendencies? Married 16 years, separated 5. Um, that's a loaded question. There's a lot there. I hope. Do you have Instagram, Colette? I would like to talk to you. You put a lot in there, and I wouldn't even know where to start until I understood exactly in what context you were speaking. Um, yes, rebuilding self-esteem is about becoming a person that you can be proud of, being proud of the decisions you make, being proud of the person you choose to be day to day. That's how we rebuild our self-esteem, to watch ourselves being great and watch ourselves being someone we admire, and connecting ourselves with through action with that type of person, right? But outside of that, building self-esteem and loneliness are two different planes. Loneliness can happen to someone with great self-esteem, so that's not the same. Those aren't the same goal. Excuse me. Um, and your codependent tendencies are obviously interrupted if you're lonely. There's no one to be codependent with. So, with that said, there might be a lot more there. If you write me on Instagram and put Colette C in the front line or in the top line of it, I'll like to talk to you a little bit more about what you're talking about. Or you can write me at girltalkwithguys.com, and we can get a little bit deeper into what you're battling. But I'm almost positive there are some things that you can do to develop your self-esteem But the loneliness is something that you have to make peace with. At least at the moment we're in quarantine, there's not a whole lot you can do. But you can seek a alternate companionship. But first, I want you to get your self esteem together, because a person can't become your self esteem, and that's the threat of trying to build your self esteem and find new love at the same time. Is that the new love then becomes your self esteem? And so I don't want you to replace the self-esteem loss maybe with in your codependence with your partner, with your ex, but I want you to fortify your self-esteem, and have that stand alone, and then uh, fix the loneliness issues as a whole functioning person. So again, I'd like to talk to you a little bit more about exactly what you mean. If you want to write me on girltalkwithguys.com. What the hell? If you want to write me on girltalkwithguys.com, it'd be easier for me to give you exactly what you need for an answer. I hope that helps. Somebody said you like my post on Facebook and almost passed out. Thank you. Oh, I try to show love, my life, my journey. I try to show love to everybody. When people write me on, or when people follow me on Instagram, not as much Facebook. I'm getting more active on Facebook. When people follow me on Instagram, a lot of times I'll try to go to their page and like something appropriate for a married man to like. Some people just put a bunch of selfies. I'm not gonna like nobody's selfie, but if anything else, something of substance or something I agree with, I'm always gonna show love and hit the like. I like it. Not to say that those other things aren't cool. They do something for y'all, but I don't have no business liking just images of women that don't make no damn sense. So I don't do that. But you probably posted something cool, and I'm always gonna show love when I see that. Somebody said, "How do you deal with insecure, controlling guys who actually want to know what you're wearing out if they aren't there with you?" Well, you have to decide how conservative of a man you can handle. If a guy is super conservative, so much so that he's pressing that conservatism on you, and you don't feel like you can be everything you are with him, then that could be problematic. But also, he might be asking you because you can't be trusted to present yourself in a way that an involved woman should be presenting yourself. So it's not always just an insecure, controlling guy. Some of y'all be out of pocket, and so like yeah, there are those men who are insecure and controlling, and then there are those men who know they woman and don't want her out here at risk because she's dressing like a single woman and enticing the worst men around. So I don't know which one of those issues are yours, but I've known a great deal of women who dress like very single and enticing young temptresses, and then they wonder why a man is concerned with the way they're out, and about. And then there are other women who aren't really doing much, and it is a insecure guy, but there is a level of appropriate for a woman who's involved, and so there's a fine balance that needs to be struck there. You drink some water. Well, hold on. Oh, Natasha JC, love and respect, Natasha. She said, "Hello, Kev. I met a guy online. After our second call, he starts talking about sex, asking me what type of person I'm in. What type of person am I in bed? Should I run? Yes, run. There are those who are just very sexual beings. That's cool. But a woman should, I think, in my opinion, a woman should always be the one to introduce that idea into a very new relationship, especially on the second call. Um, a man is showing his focus. Usually, first of all, just let's be clear. Every guy who's talking to you, asking for your number, trying to get a date, wants to bang you. That is obvious. I'm not going to even talk to you if I wouldn't bang you. Okay. So that's not even like, we're not even dealing with the nature of a man to either want a woman or not. If a man is talking to you, he wants to bang you, or he's at least told himself I'd bang her. Right. So like, but that's the basics, right? A man he should want to be attracted to you sexually. So that's not a bad thing. It's not nefarious. But when a guy can't control himself long enough to get to know you, to have an enough intellectual conversations with you, where he's showing that he's attracted to the other parts of you as well, where you've sold him on your sexuality clearly because you're on the phone with him. That's the prerequisite. So we know he wants to do it to you. But if he can't stand to have a conversation with you, if everything goes right back to sex and it goes back to sex early, if you're not a person looking for a casual relationship, casual encounters, or like say what I want to say uh, a very conditional relationship, or a relationship conditioned on his sexual exploration of you. If that's not what you're looking for, a person trying to explore you in the second conversation sexually, without having made any other attempts to connect with you emotionally or mentally, or even just consistently first, then yeah, it looks like his focus is sex. And for every man to want to bang you, is that's not nefarious. But for a man to be absolutely focused on that, and trying to get that out the way first, tells me that he just moves quickly sexually, and he may have a very casual idea of the relationship that he's trying to develop with you. So it's not that he's a piece of shit, or he's a bad person, but his focus is probably sex, and that's why he can't wait to get to that. When I used to date, when I was really interested in a woman, I needed to know everything about her. I wanted to get a glimpse of her personality. I wanted to have conversations that alluded. Oh, somebody, pretty girl, can you send me that super chat that I just somebody sent me a super chat. I wanted to thank them, but I ran my mouth a little too long. Uh, the last super chat I got, can you text me that? I'm talking to my wife. Um, but anyway, like a man's focus on that, like when I wanted a woman, I wanted to really be connected to her in a way that like I felt like we had a connection, spiritually. Like I really wanted to really invest in that part of it first. I knew the sex would come, and if I'm connected to you spiritually and emotionally, I know what I'm gonna do to you. But I don't need to have that conversation. Like what's understood don't need to be spoken about. And if it does need to be spoken about, a woman needs to be bringing that up first, because it's very easy to encroach upon a woman's sensibilities around sex. We live in the Me Too moment, the Me Too movement, and right now is the worst time in the world to be the sexual aggressor of a woman who has recently met you and is only two conversations in. So I hope that helps. Valerie C, thank you so much for the dancing. Fit pair, I appreciate you. Fit pairs in the building, and Valerie C, thank you so much for your $5 super chat with Fit pair. Learning that these little buttons are kind of cool. I guess YouTube just came out with them recently, and a lot of people are doing them. So I appreciate y'all for that. So yeah, hell yeah, Natasha, run. Or at least put him on a very deep and very steady observation period. He should be on probation because he's already shown his cards. Unless that's what you want. If you a sexual being, do what you got to do. I'm not telling you I don't control your body. Uh, Kansas Kansas Bell, Kansas. Disregard. Listen, I suck at names. Uh, but love and respect to you, Kansas. Thank you so much for your $5 super chat. She said, my boyfriend cheated on me for 6 months with his ex. I forgave him, but now 6 months later, I don't feel sexy or sexual. How do I feel valid? How do I feel validated for myself? Hmm, that's different. Um, First of all, I'm sure you know this, to cheat on somebody once, it's terrible, but it's understandable. If you meet a man who doesn't understand how another guy got some on his side one time, while it's terrible and it's horrible, most men get it because we want to screw every fine woman in the world. It's just life. But 6 months, it takes a while. That's a double life. So I'm not sure if that's as forgivable. And I think that's part of the problem, is that you never try to restore trust. Trust wasn't restored before you just gave in and gave him another chance. And I'm wondering if you gave him another chance out of desperation or out of real forgiveness. Because if you really forgave him, then it would hopefully mean that you somehow or another had come to trust him, or trust his response to hurting you. You don't feel sexy enough because you are always comparing yourself to a shadow woman that could or couldn't be, with your significant other, right? And as compared to his ex, it's very detrimental for you to attempt to try to figure out how to make yourself better than her, so that she doesn't get him again, right? It almost can feel like you're fighting for your own relationship. You've been put in a very precarious position. Uh, Now, whether or not he's a good boyfriend or not, um, you should do whatever it takes to make yourself feel valid and feel worthy of love. I think that you have obviously some great qualities about you that you could forgive a person for basically living a double life and presenting you a lie day in and day out for 6 months. But I'm not sure you're ever going to see validation through the eyes of your boyfriend until you first find it for yourself. Now, I'm not an expert on how to make women feel sexy or how to make women feel more attractive after they've been hurt in this way. There are some women who do that specifically, who bring out that energy in women. I can't necessarily tell you how to feel sexy or sexual, but I know that if you don't feel sexual with him, it's because you don't feel safe with him, and you feel like you could be renting your man instead of really having him. And while we don't possess people, sometimes to feel valid as a sexual partner and as a life partner, we need to at least feel like they're ours and that they're exclusive to us. And when you feel like he could be rented out, or he could really have his eyes on somebody else, and you never know because you lived with him for 6 months and didn't know, or you had him for 6 months and didn't know. It's very difficult to start feeling sexy and validated because you never really felt invalid while you were being cheated on. Probably felt okay. Now it feels scary to trust that he loves you and wants just you, and it should be scary because it takes a lot of lies to cover up 6 months. You might need a break from that relationship, to be quite honest, because you don't feel safe with him, and that's more of your problem. um, so for yourself, you may need to get yourself a man that makes you feel more valid, more loved, more respected, more cared for, and more prioritized than he's made you feel. Or you just may need a break and stop seeing yourself through the eyes of your relationship, but go back to being an individual for a little bit, and take some time to discover what you believe about yourself again, in the absence of what he might believe or not believe about you, or be responding to with his ex. But stop comparing yourself to his ex. Compare yourself to who you were before he hurt you. Um, I hope that helps. Um, I don't know everything. MSD, I'm crushing on my trainer, but not sure if he likes me too, though. Advice. Um, I suppose MSD, if you're crushing on your trainer and you're not sure if he likes you too, the easiest way to figure that out is still the longest way. Like there's no express route to ambiguity, and that's kind of where you are. A trainer's job is to like you, or is to make you feel liked, to make you feel valued, and to keep you happy so that you keep giving him money. This is his job, right? So like, it's like I've always been at restaurants and felt like the waitress was flirting with me. Now, yeah, I'm okay looking and I'm tall and I got some charm and I can talk to a young lady, but I never knew if the waitress was flirting with me or she just wanted a good tip, right? So with people that you're employing, it's very difficult to tell, and so there has to be a level of there has to be some line crossed into personal. If he keeps the conversation all about your fitness and all about your calorie consumption and all about your your max heart rate, your RPM, and your laps left and all of that thing, if he keeps it about the fitness, then maybe not. But if he's in your personal life, if he's asking about your problems, if he's remembering small things you said that had nothing to do with fitness and trying to talk about those things every time that you have a session with him, if he's trying to get in your personal business, then it could be possible that he wants a little bit more than a client trainer relationship. Um, so you just have to build a rapport with him outside of the confines of the idea of fitness. See how much of your life he tries to dig into, and by that, you can start asking him more personal questions. The more forthcoming he is with information, and the longer he speaks about things that you ask about without being prompted, or without being coerced back into those conversations, could be indicative of him wanting a little bit more from you. Because if he just wants a client trainer relationship, then he'll answer your questions about life and he'll get right back to fitness. But if he doesn't, or if he has an inkling that he does want to have those conversations afterwards, he say, "Listen, okay, let's finish this workout." And after the workout, he'd be like, "Listen, man, that was a good question. I actually like to talk to you about that over dinner, or, or over FaceTime because y'all quarantined. And how the hell you still got a trainer in quarantine? You must be talking about before this." So yeah, just try to get more personal with your conversations and between sets, and then see if he tries to continue those conversations after you work out. Generally, a guy likes you is going to be looking for opportunities to have a reason to talk to you, and if you give him plenty of personal things to talk about, and you invite him into those conversations after the workouts, while y'all wiping off with a towel, while y'all about to go off to your cars, he's like, hey, yo, so what was it? What was you saying earlier? Like, I had a sister that did that, or my cousin did that, or I was thinking the same thing. So how you feel about Bernie Sanders or whatever y'all was talking about? He's gonna try to continue the conversation after the workout. But if he's just like, hey, have a nice day. It was nice working out with you today, or it was a great workout. Bye. He don't want nothing. I hope that helps. Um, hmm, let me see. Somebody said, all right, what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna go to the bottom and work my way back to the top. That's what I'm gonna do. Um, Somebody said, do all men cheat? No, you need to only find one that value not cheating. Yeah, all men don't cheat. That's ridiculous. That's what cheaters say that. Love and respect, Veronica. I see you in there with your badge. That means you a member. Love and respect to you. I didn't even know I had no members. Veronica C. Appreciate you. Um, so yeah, all men don't cheat. That cheaters say that because it makes them feel less guilty and it makes them look less guilty in comparison to other people. Most people, that's like saying all people steal, or all people like cheat on tests. Like a lot of people cheat on tests, a lot of people steal, a lot of people do shit that's wrong. But just because people do shit that's wrong don't mean everybody do stuff that's wrong. And the only people running around talking about everybody cheats, all men cheats, are cheaters. That's it. Like every man wants to bang other women. That's the truth. That's a fact. Period. Like and what? But that doesn't mean every man will and every man values banging other women more than he does the stability in his home. Okay, more than he does waking up to his kids every day, more than he does serving his wife in the ways that he serves her, right? More than he does the life that he's built with his family. Like that's bullshit. Every man doesn't cheat. Every man is capable of cheating, just as every woman is capable of cheating. Y'all need to stop with the bullshit trying to act like women ain't out here cheating. I talk to all the side chicks. Okay, I talk to all the cheating wives and all the side chicks because they are about half of my clientele. Okay, so we're gonna quit acting like women ain't out here doing what they want to do and doing stuff on the slide. Because I talk to cheating wives, I talk to cheating girlfriends, I talk to babies' mamas that's creeping with their exes that have another baby's mom. I talk to women who are trying to steal somebody else's husband, trying to steal somebody else's man. So while we're talking about all men cheating, I understand that, but there's always a woman who knows that a man's cheating with her, and I think that a woman helping a man cheat is as bad as the man cheating, right? I mean, she don't have no connection to the other woman, but you can't complain about these guys out here and you're assisting them by cheating with them, right? So we're gonna quit this bullshit about all men this, all men that, and I'm talking to these other women on a regular basis, trying to get them to have a little bit more self-respect and a little bit more standards for these guys, and maybe a little bit more exclusivity, right? But the other woman is almost no better than the cheating man, because most of the time they hiding in closets, they jumping out of windows, they going in the back door. When a main woman walking out the front door, they doing it in closets and office spaces and shit like that. They're waiting for secret calls, and they're maneuvering their schedule around the guy's wife's or the guy's girlfriend's schedule so that he doesn't get caught. And then you have, oh, all men cheat, all men cheat. I think that that's some scoundrel ass behavior on a woman's part as well. So let's just be real. People are flawed. It's a people thing. It's not a man thing. It's a people thing. And then there are women who I talk to on a regular basis who are having issues with their relationship and they cheat on their men. I know women personally don't who believe in, as they say, a little dick on the side. Quite honestly, and I've had those conversations with a great many of women. So let's stop this whole all men cheat shit. I think that it's just a cop out. If you select men who cheat on you and you continue to allow that to happen, you can't put that on all men because you've made those selections. You make decisions conducive to the reality that you want in your life, and start with your decisions. It makes no sense to to judge the world when you haven't made the decisions to increase the happiness, the validation, and the contentment in your life. And again, I'm not trying to rave at it. I'm just saying people are flawed. Cheating is a people thing. Man, this Paul dude. Let me see. Paul pissing somebody off. Paul be in the comment section tripping sometimes. No offense to you, Paul, but you be tripping. Uh, you are, and maybe I got the wrong Paul, but I know there's a Paul be in the comment section. Get cussed out all the time. He said, "Is it okay to have friends with the opposite sex when in a relationship, and why?" I don't think that you should make new friends with the opposite sex in a relationship. So that's my I think that's my limit is you should no new friends like the Drake song, no new friends. But to require somebody to remove from their lives somebody who has been a stable, it can be a little bit unfair. And so there's a difference between a new friend who comes out of a need for entertainment, and an old friend who comes out of need for the family dynamic that you built with them. And if it was it was a no frills relationship, you haven't slept with this person, y'all completely platonic. It doesn't make sense to be kicking everybody out your life just because they have a penis or a vagina. It's important that you establish enough trust in your relationship that you don't have to X out everybody who is of the opposite sex. With that said, I don't think that being surrounded by a bunch of women friends for a man is a good idea, or vice versa for a woman. Those who say, women who say, I don't know, I can't be friends with girls, and then she got a football team of guys around her. That's going to be suspicious no matter what, because we all know as men that those guys are still trying to stick around as friends. 90% of them are only sticking around for the day that she has, a little bit too much to drink one day, or she's a little bit too emotional and she's a little bit vulnerable, or she's just a little bit too horny and nobody else is around. Like, a lot of guys are waiting to just hit it, and they don't have to. And say, well, why would a guy wait for 10 years to hit it, 5 years to hit it? Because he's not just waiting on you. He's collecting. He's got like a net. He's collecting spare ass everywhere he goes for many years. These guys are scavengers. So a vulture circles around a dying animal who has yet to die. Just as some of these men kind of circle around women who are in relationships that they hope die so they can eventually get some. And women do the same. So uh, having friends of the opposite sex can be a little bit messy if there are too many friends and there are no boundaries. There should be very clear cut boundaries, and there should be a structure change in that friendship. You can't still talk to your female friend every day on the phone like you used to when you got a woman at home, because what she wants it matters. But you also you save that time for your boys too. You're not on the phone all day with your boys. Like, you have to make sure that your woman is getting prioritized, and you have to make sure that your man is getting prioritized. And as long as they're not competing with those friends of the opposite sex, then most of the time they'll feel comfortable enough if they're naturally a secure person. So I hope that helps you, Paul. I don't know if you're getting cussed out right now. I know sometimes you be pissing people off in the comment section. Voxy likes love and respect. Thank you so much for the $10 super chat. She said, just showing some love on the road to 2K, 200K. I'm sorry. Yeah, I'm on the road to 200K. I don't know how long it's going to take, man. YouTube is so weird, man. Like, the last 3 weeks, all I've been getting is YouTube is, oh, people aren't interested in this video. Or it's like, it doesn't even make sense. Like, my audience almost vanished for like 2 weeks, and now everybody's back all of a sudden. And so I'm wondering if YouTube, I just fallen out of good graces in YouTube's algorithm, which is the more likely explanation for why I went from getting 20,000 views in my debut days on my first day dropping a video to getting like 2,000 views and then only getting 5,000 after a week. I haven't gotten those numbers since I was about 6 or 8 months into you. Like, when I was 6 months into a year into YouTube, those were the numbers I was getting. All the last 2 weeks, I was getting hardly no views. Look at the last two videos. It's like 5,000 views, 4,000 views, and they've been up for a week or more. And that just is very foreign, because I do have a very big turnout for most of my stuff. And it was just like, nobody's interested in this video. Like, YouTube quit bullshitting me. I didn't lose 90% of my audience in one night. I didn't do anything. Nothing controversial happened. So thank you anyway. Like I said, Voxy likes. I appreciate the super chat. On the road to 200K, if YouTube stops playing with my damn views and start letting people know when I get a video. If you're in the super chat, please hit the notification bell so that you get notified every time I drop a new video, because people are not getting the notifications. People don't even know I got a new video out. YouTube is literally just sending my video out to people who have never experienced my videos before, and then if they don't like it, YouTube just stops showing the damn video and then be like, oh, nobody wants to see this video. And I think it's a little bit deeper than that. I think the algorithm change has had a lot to do with it. Veronica C, everyone needs to become a member to support Kev. He's been a blessing to many of us. Thank you so much, Veronica C. I appreciate that. And y'all can either become members here or you can join my Wise Sisterhood. I think that to become a member here, there are a few frills to becoming a member on my YouTube page. Uh, Even though I appreciate it, I don't have anything in place for members on my YouTube page. But if you join my YBSY Sisterhood, um, there are bonus videos. I go live a couple of times a month on there. There are some members in the chat probably right now. Um, we talk live, and there are only like a few people in there because that's just a turnout. So like right now, you could almost have a full conversation with me in the comment section in my YBSY Sisterhood. So you could get the equivalent of some people get a consultation, or personal advice, just because I'm that connected to that community at times. The YBSY Sisterhood is available for anybody who wants to support me or support themselves in getting some real game. um, uh, so there is a structuring in place, and on the YBSY Sisterhood, I am building a course, and because I'm doing it in live time, it's just $10 a month. But after the course is all set and all 48 videos are done and all of that, then obviously some price differences will happen. But right, because I'm building it live, it's cheap, it's affordable, but you get a lot of free game and you get a lot of structured planning in the way that you can improve yourself for dating and relationships. So I'm excited about it. I didn't get to do my video for them this weekend because I was working on this Women's Emerging Summit. Again, if you're interested in the Women's Emerging Overcoming Sexual Abuse, Sexual Trauma Summit dedicated to women who are looking for resources, they brought all the resources into one place, all the doctors, all the experts, all the thought leaders around healing from sexual trauma. And this summit will be a series of free interviews, dozens of free interviews with the thought leaders and the world-renowned psychologists and psychotherapists and trauma therapists about how to help yourself. And there will be dozens of interviews with these people. And my interview was today. I think my interview was like an hour long. And I'm probably the least qualified person on the panel, to be quite honest with you. It's a guy on that panel who's like cool with Oprah. So, there are people up there that really know what they're doing and that they've dedicated their life to this. So if that's something that interests you, go in my description box, and it's the first link in the description box. Click on that, and you can pre-register for the summit. The summit's free. The interviews are free. You can watch all the interviews, and from that point, if you wanted to purchase the product that they have attached to that, I think the product's like $99, and it's like all couple of dozen of these people provide a lesson, like an actual educational lesson for you. And so there's a couple dozen or maybe 30 to 40 lessons that you can purchase for like $99. If you use my link, then I get like half of whatever you purchase. But it's not necessarily for me about you purchasing anything, but getting those resources and getting those names, getting familiar with those people, because they've spent their lives helping women overcome sexual trauma. Somebody asked me earlier about feeling sexy, feeling beautiful and worthy. Those people are some of the experts that can help you get right back to that place that you were, in fact, better than you were. Again, I don't know everything, but I like to know that I like to be a conduit for this, what we're doing here in a woman's healing. So if I can't direct you into if I can't tell you about it, I'd like to at least be able to direct you in the right place. And so I feel very confident about this summit being a helpmate for some people. So I will be advertising it a lot, but you can go to the summit for free and listen to all the interviews for free. You don't have to purchase anything to figure out who the people are attached to this thing. So just go pre-register, go check it out, click on the link. If it's something that you might not be into, then that's fine. But if you know somebody who could use this type of information, all the information is in one place. It's going to be amazing. Now I'm going to get back to this, answering these questions. Anyway, thank you again for that $20 super chat. I appreciate you. I want to make sure I answered you. Um, yeah, Paul pissing people off. What the F? No, Paul. Yep, you in here pissing people off. Um, Crushing on a trainer. Are you ready to find a new trainer? If it doesn't work out, that's what you'll need to do. Step one: find out if they're single and the type of people they like. Well, you never really know if they're the type of people they like. Captain Marvel, 1939, made a good point. Um, but like, you don't really know. Like, if somebody asks me what type of people I like, it take me 2 hours to fucking figure it out. Like, how to describe that to you, because some people are very eclectic in what they're drawn to. Some people are drawn to energy. Some people are drawn to the physical, obviously the physical basics. Some people are drawn to spirituality. Some people are drawn to certain ideas and certain types of intellects and certain style of speech, talents, gifts, abilities. There are countless things that a person might be into. So it's almost difficult. It's almost impossible to just know what a person likes. Uh, it's just it's not information that we'd actually ever really figure out, because what a person likes evolves, and I'm not even sure, um, you know, about what I've always been into, because it's just such a vast array. Some people just like a little bit of everything. So don't concern yourself with what he likes and then becoming that. Just try to build a rapport and see if he invites a more personal rapport with you. Somebody says, so if a man cheats one time, we should consider a second chance, or how do you feel about one and done policy? Do you think all men cheat at least once? How do you know if a man is truly sorry? I think that there have been men who cheated who deserved a second chance. And again, that's the not knowing the inside of a relationship. It's always assumed that the men who cheat are just cheating to get, to get some pleasure, and that's it. And sometimes men cheat for emotional reasons, and which could be even worse and even more treacherous. But for real, some men are lacking intimacy or closeness in their relationships. Some men aren't getting the validation that they need or want from their woman. Now, cheating is always a wrong, the worst way to handle it, no matter who you are. But there are men who are very totally unfulfilled in relationships, and then they cheat, and then it's like, oh, you just a cheating man. Well, really, that brother has some needs that went unmet, and not necessarily that he didn't communicate with them. I know a lot of women. I do have male clients from time to time. I know a lot of guys who have fully communicated their needs, fully communicated the things they want out of a relationship, done everything in the world to try to figure out how to find a communication method that allows for a safe addressing of the issues in their relationship. And I've known hundreds of women who have trouble receiving information along those lines, and who come to me from a place of, I ruin my relationship not listening, I ruin my relationship uh, not being warm enough, not being nurturing enough, not caring about my man, these things or that. Like, so we just, to assume a man cheats and that's it, and that's the all of it, is sometimes counterintuitive. So if a man cheats one time, should you consider a second chance? That all depends on the scenario, the situation, the reason, whether or not he's taking responsibility, if he's been honest about why he did it, how he did it, if he wanted to do it, if he set it up, or if it was a complete accident, if he knew it was coming, if he didn't know it was coming. Like, sometimes ass pops out of nowhere, and then sometimes you're quietly working toward it without working toward it, right? Sometimes guys cheat. I used to tell my homeboy Joey, accidentally on purpose. Right, which means they very subtle in the way they flirt. They're very subtle in the way they are with other women, but they know they're moving towards something inappropriate, and they don't stop themselves. Right, so it's on accident because nobody explicitly planned it, but both people were hoping for it eventually. And so it's like, oh, you flirt at work, or you're very nice to each other, and then you have too many great conversations, and then you're alone for some reason or another, and you don't do anything, so you feel like a valid enough person, and then you eventually find yourself alone and you're doing something. And that's kind of what I get from a lot of these people, is that they fall into these situations that you could see coming from a mile away, but nothing inappropriate happened until everything happened. And so you kind of cheat, they kind of cheat accidentally on purpose. And I guess it just depends on the circumstances around his cheating. I don't necessarily believe in a one and done policy. I think that every relationship is different, and you have to first figure out what their response is to being caught, or did they bring the information to you? Were they forthcoming with it? Why did they tell you if they did tell you? Were they leaving you for that person and then coming back? Were they begging your forgiveness, or did the guilt get to them? Like, there are so many different factors. What else were they offering in a relationship? How good was a relationship before this? How committed were they? How focused were they? How loving were they? How strong, how passionate were they about loving you before this? Like, what other things did they bring to your life besides, you know, uh, dick and cuddles, right? Like, there are a lot of things that a relationship should consist of. Do they bring those other things into to the relationship? Was this the one shortcoming? Like, there are so many things to consider. So I can't tell you the one and done anybody, because I've known great men who come back roaring and just overperforming for many decades after, a cheating spell. And I know guys who cheated and they wasn't never shit, and they continue to not be shit after they get forgiven. So it just depends on your man. We'll drink some of this. Um, all right. So now I'm going back up. Some Paul, boy, you on it today. I don't know why I just keep saying you. Paul says, somebody said Paul, me too. I don't know what the hell you said to piss him off, Paul. I'm not trolling, and my question was not weird. They're valid questions. I believe you, Paul. You say you're not trolling. I ain't messing with you. Like, look, I ain't mad. I just be seeing Paul's name in some heated discussions in the comment section. So I know he always got something to say. That can be at least a topic of a decent enough conversation. But he says, how should a woman treat her man? I suppose as he treats her. Um, Relationships are a two-way street. People should focus on, first of all, being a whole person, making sure that they're treating themselves with enough respect, with enough dignity, when they're loving themselves first. Um, it all starts with you. It all starts with self-love. But from that place, from a place of wholeness and full function, being fully functional, you should treat your partner with the same dedication that they treat you with. And I say that because it puts the responsibility on each person to give, obviously 50%, but 100% of themselves. With that said, sometimes uh, that doesn't match up. The efforts don't match up. People are on. Sometimes people are off. It's important to be the change you wish to see in your relationship. So sometimes when your partner's slacking, you got to pick it up, but they have to also be willing to pick it up for you at the same time. So it's not always 50-50 at the same time. There are times where one partner is much more healthy and much more capable at points than the other partner. And you just have to support each other and balance each other out ultimately. And so a woman should treat her man as he treats her, with priority, with respect, and with a great deal of love and care. Tracy Edwards says, first of all, thank you so much for your $5 super chat. She says, "Hi, Kev. Got ghosted before Thanksgiving here back in February." Um, Okay. I'll say got ghosted before Thanksgiving. Back in February, he says he wants another chance. But he hasn't made much effort. I'm hurt. Don't trust. What do I do? Well, if he says he wants another chance and he hasn't made much effort, have you been stopping him? Have you been blocking him? If he says he wants another chance, and you've allowed him the access to you and he hasn't taken advantage of it, then he really doesn't want another chance. If he's not investing himself in at least contacting you on a regular basis, restoring the friendship that you had, like, because he ghosted you, so there's a great deal of doubt that you have and caution around everything, as opposed as in regards to being connected with him, because you feel like he could disappear on you again. So with that said, if he's not contacting you daily, trying to make sure that, hey, I'm here, I'm showing you that, I was wrong. I felt like I needed to do that, but I was wrong. I've had a change of heart. I want to be around you. I want you in my life. All of these things, and he's not being consistent. If he's not making much effort, then he's going to ghost you again. You might as well just cut him off. People lead with their actions. Their words are flattering. Their words are supposed to guide us and direct us, but many times misguide us and misdirect us. Right? A sleight of hand. Look at over here, and they're waving over here, and they're doing some other shit. And other times they just want they want you to available to them, but they don't necessarily want to work for that, and they don't want to do anything that would reciprocate that same availability emotionally, specifically. So if he's not doing much, he's not increasing his effort. I'm not sure why you would even be talking to him. Uh, you've already seen what he does when neglect isn't enough, right? And when he gets obligated, he ghosts. So if you have to obligate him to do anything or commit to some effort, you are wasting your time. You might as well just let him do his thing. Um, hold on, I'm gonna make sure I got. Well, it's 1 o'clock. How long have I been on here? Damn. All right, I got 6 minutes, and I'm getting the hell up off here. I gotta watch TV with Pretty Girl, and I'll probably film a video tonight. Y'all expect a video. Expect a couple videos this weekend if you want to watch Sisterhood. Your video will come out, most likely Sunday, and YouTube video. I'll try to get a YouTube video up, probably Sunday too. I'll probably drop both videos Sunday. I just got to go record them. I already prepared my subjects. I just got to go record them. But tomorrow I need an antisocial day with no work because I've been working my ass off at my job, and I come home and I got a lot of people contacting me, which is fine. It's beautiful, and it helps because YouTube ad revenue is down so low right now that it's almost pointless to drop a video, especially when I'm only getting 5 videos. Like there's almost no payment for videos right now just because ad revenue is down, and then my views have been on the ground. So I've been doing videos for damn near free, which isn't much of an incentive. So um, with all of these people contacting me for email advice or getting consultations, it does offset the damage caused by this coronavirus and whatever I did to piss YouTube off for them to stop showing people my videos. But if they kill my channel, I'll become an Instagrammer. I don't give a damn. They won't stop me. I'm gonna help people as best I can. I'm gonna find a way. But right now I ain't worried about my channel dying. I think we're good. But y'all just got to share my videos more. Y'all got to like my videos more, but even more than like them, if you just share the damn video, you've shown me love. You show me gratitude. You've done your job. You've supported. There are difference between viewers and supporters, and supporters hit that damn share button. Um, a lot of people think they got fans when they just got viewers. I've never confused the two. Some people are watching and they're observing, but they're not necessarily supporting, and that's okay. They're not meant to. Everybody's not supposed to support, but a great deal of your audience is consuming. If you're a creator, you understand this. A great deal of your audience consumes your content, but that doesn't mean they, are willing to support. That doesn't mean they would ever hit the share button. That doesn't mean they would ever buy a T-shirt. That doesn't mean they would ever hit the like button. They just consume, and most people aren't mindful enough. They get what they need from YouTube, and then they move on to the next video. I know I do all the time, so it's not a bad thing. But people don't realize how important it is to hit the share button or hit the like button, especially for these channels that are struggling sometimes, because usually my channel is doing okay. It does bring an income in. The ad revenue helps, but when I'm not getting views, I'm almost doing videos for free. And the 6 or 7 hours it takes me to prepare a video, or the 4 to 7, depending on how long the video is and how deep the video is. Those many hours it takes me to prepare are just donated time when YouTube's giving me 5,000 views for 2 weeks. Like I might as well just did that shit for free. And while I do this to help people, it should help my family. And so that's why I'm a little perturbed with YouTube at the moment, for somehow or another blocking my views and trying to convince me that all of a sudden 179,000 people are just not interested in my content, which is weird as hell because people are watching all kind of stupid shit right now during this quarantine. They're watching people set their mouths on fire, people set their hair on fire, people doing the same stupid ass dance to the same stupid ass song over and over and over again. People are consuming so much bullshit content right now just because they don't have anything to do. I find it very hard to believe that nobody wants any real game, any real content that would help their lives at the moment, because people are consuming bullshit right now. And so I don't believe YouTube when they say, oh, nobody's interested in your video. We don't know why. It doesn't make any sense. And it's all of a sudden, 7 days ago, I'm getting 20,000 views on the first day of a video, and then all of a sudden I'm getting 1,000 views and 3,000 views for a week. YouTube, I pissed you off. Just be real. I don't know what I did. I could have did anything because I ramble and I say a lot of shit. So anyway, I'm gonna answer. What time is it? Okay, I got 2 more minutes and I'm gonna get up off of here. And I appreciate all the love and the support and people watching this. Um, Somebody said, do you believe in men still pursuing women to communicate if they're interested in them, or should it be both ways? I think that men should pursue a woman to communicate if they're interested in them, up to a certain point. I think that there are a lot of women who don't realize that there is a time to turn on the reciprocation or turn up the reciprocation. A lot of women are super old school. They're like, I don't call a man, I don't text a man. He always calls me first. Well, while I love the old school mentality, and you make a man court you the proper way, at some point it does have to become a relationship, and he does have to realize that he's as important to you as you are to him, right? He is a person with pride, feelings, self-esteem, insecurities, all of those things. So if a man's pursuing you, you want to observe him long enough to see him pursuing you, really, right? Because most women step in and start trying to pursue back, and then they just overpower the situation to the point that they don't even recognize who's pursuing who, or they don't realize that they've started pursuing him and they've lost all the leverage because they've started chasing him. So you want to stand back and let a man do his thing so you can observe him and see what his level of commitment is to growing with you. Right. And once you get to a place where, there's some intimacy involved, he's offering himself up emotionally, that way, then you start to now you start to call him a little bit. You start to text him first from time to time. You start to call him. You let him know that you've seen that he's offering his heart, and you welcome it, and you're lovingly and happily accepting his offer. But at first, you just want to stand back and watch what a man does and just reciprocate, with energy and being available enough, not all the time, but enough that he can get to you when he wants to show you, what he wants from you. But at some point, it may be a month in, maybe 2 months in, maybe when you develop some emotional intimacy, you can start, really exploring, how you feel about a man through calling him, through texting him, through doing whatever you want for him as well. But you never want to offset the relationship by taking over the courtship process. So anyway, I hope this all helps. I think I've rambled enough for a Friday night. It's 1 o'clock in the morning. Thank you for all my night owls. Yeah, Paul, you done did something because Pretty Girl deleted a couple messages of yours. So you might have did something. You was trolling probably. You be on there, but I ain't mad at you. Do your thing, brother. We you come back with a better attitude the next time. Uh, Y'all be cool. I love and respect everybody for watching. Even Paul, he be in the comment section doing this thing. Um, yeah, man, y'all have a nice day. Y'all be cool. Good night, everybody. Expect a video Sunday, Monday at the latest, for both groups, ybslove.com. If you're interested in the YBS Love group, go to ybslove.com. If you and click on join the Y Sisterhood. It's $10 a month, but you get bonus videos, bonus lives on a regular enough basis that generally, if you don't get something on this channel, there's always something on the other channel. And it's not a money grab. It's just that it's extra stuff, and it helps my family while I build this course that I'm building for the future for people who are non-subscribers who might not be introduced to me otherwise. So I'm really excited about it. I think it'll help a lot of people, and so y'all look for that. Love and respect. Y'all have a good night. I'm gonna watch some TV and take my ass to bed.